God of judgment is a misunderstood term. We all like just deserts coming to people whom we don't like. Sow and reap is a universal principle we believe in when someone else is at the receiving end of bad sowing, bad reaping. We are all for good sowing and good reaping. So who is the arbitrator? Who is the negotiator? Who keeps calculations of the sow-reap issue on moral matters? So this is how he is described, God our Father, that his judgment comes so that the humble may be saved. God is the judge, he puts down one and exalts another, for he saves the humble in his judgment. So this is a fact, and this is God's curriculum. When we get angry, we want judgment to come to other people. We demand that judgment comes. We demand justice when we think law is on our side. And we ask for mere mercy when we feel the law is against us. So scripture says, some mourn like doves when at the receiving end of trouble and oppression, and the same people growl like bears when they become oppressors. So the victim changes to be the victor, and the victor one time becomes a victim. This happens so often in revolutions. The great liberator becomes an oppressor. That's how Danton told Robespierre, you will be here at the same guillotine I am, and that truly came to pass. In the French Revolution this is. So we need to understand that God is a God of judgment. He holds the scales in balance and he executes judgment, and his word is, to the boastful do not boast, to the wicked do not lift up the horn. From east to west, that God knows how to promote, God knows how to put down. There is a just judge in heaven, and the human heart asks for justice, looks for justice, but when the human goes to mete out judgment, he is partial to his own kind and to himself. So we need a just arbitrator, one who's above human feelings. This is what Cicero said. We need one who can adjudicate, do arbitration above human feeling. So he came to the conclusion, philosophical conclusion, there must be a higher being, God, if we are thinking about justice and if we are thinking about judgment. There has to be someone who holds the scales above time, beyond human understanding, and who draws the line at the right time. So he was not a theist, but he came to a theistic conclusion that God must be, if we believe in good being rewarded and evil being similarly taken to retribution. If we don't believe in just arbitration, then of course anything goes. There's nothing called good, there's nothing called evil. That's the problem of situational ethic and the majority making sociological law. As Justice Wendell Holmes rightly pointed out, if there is no just arbitrator above us, we will do as we please and call it law. You cause judgment to be heard from heaven. So Psalm 75 and 76 deals with this thing about how God is waiting on the sides, so to say. He is watching the scenes. You cause judgment to be heard from heaven. Earth feared and was still. So what is the stance of this judgment? When God arose to judgment to save all the humble of the earth. Psalm 76:9. This is why God gave nations boundaries and sovereignty, saved them from global dinosaurs swallowing up national resources, as the global elite are trying to do, and planning another pandemic to have shutdowns and call a global diktat on health laws so that they can rule and overrule nations. So there's a God procedure going on. So Psalm 76:10 says, the wrath of man shall praise you. With a remnant of wrath you will gird yourself. So just a little bit of his wrath coming into a situation to execute his justice is how God does it. He doesn't need help from us, but those who believe in God, they will not put their hand to error or take things into their own hands when they know God is watching and God will deliver just in time. This is what he says in Psalm 75, when I select an appointed time. So that appointed time is a particular thing in the scriptures, the time that God brings to pass. When I select an appointed time, it is I who judge with equity. So this is how we rest in peace while we live, not only after we die. While we live, we rest in peace, knowing that God is the great and just arbitrator. Thank you. I'm Dr. Lalith Mendis. If you want any more clips on religion, spirituality and science, please send a WhatsApp to +94 74 211 5011. You can also download my app, Golden Nuggets. I'm Dr. Lalith Mendis from App Store or Google. Thank you for listening.